Hi guys, Shouvik here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today we will solve another question from Leetcode itself. So let's get started. Yes, so today we have these problems divide array into arrays with max differences. Leetcode 2966. So this problem tagged as a medium, but I don't feel so it's a medium. It's kind of an easy medium for sure, for sure. So there is a small one tweak, one I you have to just put. Then that is a kind of a super easy problems, I have to say. So yeah, so they have given an integer array nums of size n where n is a multiple of 3. So they have given a nums array of size n where n is a multiple of 3 and a positive integer k. And what they have given also they have given a positive integer k. Now see what actually the games we have to play. Now divide the array nums into n by 3 arrays of size 3 satisfying the following conditions. So as we all know our n is a multiple of 3. Our n is a multiple of 3. So, and now they are asking to divide our nums through to some segments. So each segment should have 3 elements only. Each segment should have 3 elements only. And there are few more cases. So I should able to break it out. Because our n is a multiple of 3. Because my n is a multiple of 3. So I should able to break my entire nums into small chunks of each length of 3. Two small chunks each of length 3. Now what else? Now the differences between any two elements in one array is less than equals to k. So now the chunks that you have created of 3 elements. So the differences of any two elements. How many elements there are? There are 3 elements. So when I'm going to check the differences, the absolute differences of any two elements, it should be less than or equals to k. So that is the constant they have put. And finally, we have to return a 2D array containing the child arrays, each of size 3. And if it is impossible to satisfy the conditions, return an empty array. And if there are multiple answers, return any of them. So there is just a one single I you just have to put to solve it. So if I have an array, if I am having a arbitrary array 1, 2, then 5, then let's suppose 1, then 3, 2, something like this. So if I have to make a chunks of 3, so that my chunks, so let's suppose I have to create a chunks of 3 elements. So this chunks, when I'm going to take the delta of any two, the delta of any two, it becomes less than equals to k, right? So for 1, who should be the closest? Whom should I pair with? It's nothing but this one. For this 2, whom should be the closest? So this 1 and 1 should going to the same. Now for this one, after this one, so this is done. For this we are considering. So for this one, who is the closest? I have 2, 5, 3, 2. So the 2 is the closest, right? So I can take this 2. So I can create a pair, right? If let's suppose my k is 3, so everyone's at maximum differences of 1 minus 2 is 1 only. So all are in less than or equals to my k differences. Now we have pending with this 5, 3, 2. So for this 5, who is my closest? Can I say it's nothing but 3? So 3 and 5 is going to get a pair. Now for this 3 and this 2 is the only remaining. So they are bound to go to the pair. So now you should have to get the observations for every elements. It can either pair, it can going to pair to its the closest one, to its closest one. So now who is the closest one? Just of its bigger or its equivalent. They should be the closest. So how we can get this? Arrangement? By sorting it. Then all the elements to its correct order. So now if I am going to just put it sorted versions to see, guys, are you guys getting the view or not? It becomes 1, 1, 2, and then it becomes 2, 3, 5. So that is its sorted versions. So on sorted versions, just have to take the 3 chunks. So that is one answer. Yes, that is one chunks. Yes, that is one chunks. 5 minus 2 is 3, and it is less than equals to my k. My k is also 3. So it is still satisfying. So it is then nothing but you just have to sort your nums. And you have to take the 3 chunks. You have to take the three chunks. Yes, these 3 chunks, and if we have any, then we have to take that 3 chunks also. That we have to take that 3 chunks also. So the problem is now what is the invalidity point? So when I am at ith index, I have to fetch my I plus 2, and it's bound to be present because it is a multiple of 3, and I am jumping of 3 3 3 4, right? We are jumping from 3 3 3 4. So I just have to check in the sorted ones if my nums of I plus 2 minus my nums of I, if this gap is less, sum at any point of time of these iterations is greater than my k, then not possible, and on not possible case, we have to return an empty list. And if the while loop or the for loop, whatever, ideally we have to write a for loop here, because we have to make a discrete jumps, not a constant jumps. We have to make a discrete jump. So I prefer to write a while loop here when we have to define the jumps value, or we have to make a conditional jump. So while loop is the best, that we all know. And if the entire while loop is going to be executed, finally we can return the answer. Yes, can definitely do. Now on the code iterations, it is going to be a crystal clear to you for sure. Now let's do the code iteration. So very first, sort your nums. Then n should be my len of nums. So how many chunks? As it is a multiple of 3, so it becomes n double divided by 3, as the problem is already stated. My n is a multiple of 3, so that many chunks we are going to get. So that many times we have to run our counter. So that is the max counter time. So we have to run our while loop, right? Now we have start with my answer to be an empty list, I to be at 0th index, current counter to be of 0. And how many times we have to iterate? Max counter times, because that many chunks we are going to form. So while my current counter is less than my max counter, we are iterating. If at any particular times my nums of I plus 2 minus of my nums of I, if my nums of I plus 2 minus of nums of I, it becomes greater than my k, return empty list. Else answer dot appends this particular chunks. How I can get the chunks in Python? Nums of I to I plus 3. The last index is exclusive, so it is taking I to I plus 2 only. So I have defined I to I plus 3, and I am going to I plus equals to 3 to put my ith pointer to the next chunks first, first index. So I am going to I plus equals to 3, and current counter I am increasing to plus 1, and finally I am going to return the answer. Yes guys, it is as simple as that. The problems only the beauty is we have to take every element to its closest. How we can find it? Sort it, then you can find its closest guys, then only you can find the closest guys, and finally then it's just iterations, then to just a for loop game only, while loop game only. So now we can quickly discuss the time complexity. So sorting is definitely going to take a big of n log n for sure. Then we are doing a single for loop iterations, it is going to take a big of n for sure, and that is the time complexity for this particular algo. And on space complexity, tell me guys, we are playing out all the games with variables only. Answer, we need it to return the answer. So that's the reason we have defined the answer, but take its considerations also. And what is its max height? It can be big of n, because we are just doing a 2D. So it's maybe you are going to say a big of n square, but it's not, right? Because this is going to be formed by the existing nums array. It have the exact same elements in chunks only, so it's a 2D. It's just a 2D, but its size is big of n only. So that is the space complexity to consider. You have considered your result. You have considered your result space also. We have to consider. You can like clarify with your interviewer. But yeah, mention it like this format. Like if we are going to consider our answer list, then it is of big of n space, and time complexity is bound to be of big of n log n and plus big of n for our job done, for our problem solving suite. We need to do a single iterations. Yes guys. So here you can see like n is as big as 10 raised to the power 5. So n log n is definitely going to be work, and it is bound to be. I have read out the articles, and on topics part also you can see sorting is the only array, greedy and sorting. So only the sorting is the options. Yes guys, so it is bound to be the most optimized time and space complexity you can achieve for this particular video, and I guess it is a super easy kind of problems, because only the sortings, only the closest one whom I am going to pair, my closest one. How I am going to get my closest one? Sort the array, then only you are going to get every element to its closest one. Now after sorting, divide it in 3 chunks, just check its validity. If it's valid to the k boundary, then find divide it. If it is invalid to at any index, return an empty list. As simple as that. So yes guys, I guess you guys are able to understand till this point, and if you guys are able to understand till this point, I guess you guys are already doing. So please do subscribe to the channel, and please share the videos to your friend circle who are also preparing for top product based company and brushing up their DSS skills. And please turn on the notification so that when we are going to live to our next video, you guys are going to get the notification as soon as possible. So that's it guys, that's it for today. Let's meet tomorrow with another beautiful question. Bye guys, bye bye.